What's up, goblins and ghouls? Happy Halloween. It's 2018. It's another Halloween special. Unfortunately, Greg is not here right now. He's out hunting the Jersey Devil. Last night he went hunting for the Jersey Devil. I don't know if he found it yet because he hasn't contacted me yet. So it's kind of a bummer that he's not here for this Halloween special. But we do have two guests for you today. Mike from the Alone in the Dark podcast is here with me. And then also Halloween author Lesley Bannatyne is on the line with me right now. So welcome, Lesley. Happy Halloween.
Hey, thanks. Happy Halloween to you too.
Yeah, so I know you're a Halloween author. You've written 5 books on the subject. I'm sure everybody that is familiar with the Halloween, just history is familiar with your name. And you've been on like the History Channel. I feel like every documentary I've seen you on too. So it's been great.
Yeah.
So how does someone like you celebrate this holiday?
It's the whole month really, and that's
Correct.
what's what's great about it. So I do decorate outside the house. I do decorate inside the house. I usually host some sort of Halloween party just before Halloween or just after, depending on what day it falls on. And then host an annual pumpkin carving party. And then on Halloween night, I am home handing out candy as often as I can be, which kind of puts a perfect cap on it.
I hear you. And most people that I talk to that are really hardcore into Halloween feel the same way. I feel like it's almost like, even for me, it's bittersweet that it's kind of here. Today's the day, and now it's going to be all over after tonight.
I
Do you
know,
feel the
I know
same
that.
way?
Yeah, it's kind of melancholy because I do try to take everything down on November 1st, just because. And it's always a little melancholy folding up the skeletons and ghosts and putting them back in the cellar.
It really is. I'm the same way too. Like after it's over, it's just all down, and I don't know. It's kind of sad, but then it's already preparing for next year.
Preparing for next year, and plus it's done. And then I don't know about where you live, but where I am in around Boston, it feels like right after Halloween the next day, boom, it gets cold and dark. And so you feel that seasonal shift too. It's going into the dark, cold, snowy season.
Yeah, I feel like right now because I'm in New Jersey, and that's the way it feels to me right now. It's almost like we skipped over fall in a way
Yeah,
sometimes because it's been so chilly at night, and even
yeah.
during the day. Now it's like seasonally warm. It's going to be like 65 today. Tomorrow's in the 70s, which kind of stinks. I
Really
hate that. I'd rather it be nice, cloudy, and then kind of right in the
windy.
yeah,
Yeah,
like right around 60 would be perfect for me for Halloween.
yeah,
But
definitely.
so yeah, I wanted to talk to you because I would love to get you on the podcast just where we just talk for almost like hours just about like the history of Halloween because I feel like most people have a misconception about what Halloween is and where it originated from and kind of just like the backstory on it. I don't know
Hmm.
if we can touch about that and then also All Saints Day, All Souls Day. I know it's a big subject to cover in a
Oh,
short period
sure.
of time that we have you on here for this Halloween. But
No problem. That it's true. It's because people don't think of Halloween as being ancient because American Halloween is not ancient. So what they know, this trick or treating, this Halloween party, these haunted entertainments, this is an American bred Halloween. But there were previous Halloweens, and there is Halloween in other countries that is celebrated very similarly. And if you wanted to go way, way back, you could go back to 2,500 years ago or so, prehistoric times, in the countries of northwestern Europe, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, northern France. Up there, it was no, this time of year, not specifically the day, but this time of year around November 1st was known as Samhain or Summer's End because it was the time when you had to bring the herds in from pasture and shelter them for the winter, and you had to make sure all of your supplies were ready because it was just on the edge of what was dark and dangerous. And so going into winter was an important time to mark, and the tribes came together. Sometimes new kings were crowned. They played games, they had challenges. But because it was going into that dark season, it was on the edge of it, it always had an otherworldly cast to it. So in Irish folklore and sagas, for example, on Samhain, Summer's End, the fairy mounds open and all sorts of monstrous beings can come out. And also, men can get lost in the world of fairy. So there's this very porous reality going on at this time of year. When it gets dark, we think about the other world. We think about the things that we can't see. So this all makes sense. But then when the church came in, the Catholic Church came into these lands, which is, you're going forward to 9th century and 11th century, they put All Saints' Day on November 1st, which gives Halloween its name. All Saints was known as All Hallows in parts of Britain, and
Right.
All Hallows Eve is Halloween. And All Souls Day, which is the important one for Halloween's mojo, because that was a day set to honor the dead. And that reinforced the idea that the other world was present on this night. And All Saints and All Souls were really important church holidays all throughout medieval times. And there were things associated with it that are very Halloweeny, like dressing in disguise and begging for food or money, which was done on a lot of church holidays. It was a fundraising thing. But those three times of year, Samhain, then All Saints and All Souls Day, that's what eventually became Halloween, American Halloween. The day before All Saints, All Hallows Eve, was a secular time, a feast of party time where you celebrated before you went to church on All Saints Day. And that's the piece of Halloween that we came to know from, the 16th, 17th century Scottish poetry and literature, and then the folklore that came with it to this country with those immigrants. This holiday just before All Saints Day, where the spirits were present. You could ask them the future. You could go to the crossroads at midnight at this night and hear the future whispered in the wind. All this kind of wonderful imagery and feelings that we have about Halloween came over to this country and then eventually coalesced into the holiday that we know.
Yeah, that's a very condensed version of it. And I know like most people don't even know that. And most people don't even know like the connection between All Saints Day and All Souls Day in what is Halloween that we know it today.
Right, right. And, it gets confusing in this country because All Hallows, All Saints Day is still celebrated, but people often, when they write about it, think about Halloween. So the 2 days, Halloween and All Saints Day, get conflated sometimes. But they're actually different. They're related, but they're different holidays.
Yeah, which I don't know if like up where you are in Massachusetts they celebrate it as much as because I don't feel like we do it enough down here, or I guess I don't really see it as much. You know,
Halloween,
well, no, not like Halloween, but like the celebration afterwards for like All Saints Day. I mean, maybe because I'm not like super religious,
right?
but
If yeah, I mean it's a much bigger thing in countries that have large Catholic populations where they have for years and years and years gone to the graveyards and lit candles for their loved ones. I mean that happens in countries in Europe today.
yeah,
You go to the cemetery. It happens in New Orleans. You go to the cemetery on All Saints and you light a candle and you clean the grave. It's part of what happens in Mexico on Day of the Dead. It's all about visiting the ones you've lost and kind of taking care of them, which is what All Saints and All Souls is really all about. And I don't think you see it here. You see it, if you go to church, if you go to a Catholic mass, or even some of the Protestant churches, we'll have a service for All Saints Day, but it's not like we go to the graveyards and do that sort of thing over here.
yeah, and I mean the evolution of Halloween too in itself. I know I've talked to you about it before. Just how much has it changed from over the years for typically what we think about Halloween and when it started, and the superstition that's behind it, and obviously the connection with the church, but also. I don't, do you see very similarities from like the very beginning that we know of Halloween, when it first started here in America to like today? Because I feel like every year it kind of changes and it goes through some type of, the evolution. We have going door to door now. Mainly I see in like our neighborhoods a lot of trunk or treats And,
Yeah.
there's always these safety talks too nowadays, which is kind of like the world we live in, which is sad. But
Oh,
I don't know if you
yeah.
noticed more of that stuff.
I think that you are right there. I mean, because Halloween doesn't celebrate anything specific like St. Patrick's Day or Thanksgiving, it's something that we kind of give meaning to. And so Halloween itself rides on these cultural waves, and you can see in it what we're thinking about, what we're frightened of, what's on the country's mind at the time, and what kind of costumes you have. I mean, yes, you see a lot of movie influence on costumes and things like that at Halloween, popular culture. But, you know, you see satiric costumes, back back do you remember Imelda Marcos? She was the wife of the Philippine president, and she was known maybe 20 years ago for having an extravagant closet. She overspent everybody's money. But on Halloween at the village parade one year, I saw 30 people dressed as Imelda Marcos's shoes, which was hysterical. They looked great, but it's also a comment on what was happening at the time. And you have that a lot. So as Halloween kind of shifts, as our culture shifts, so maybe back in the 80s, people used to ask me, why is Halloween so bloody? Why is it so violent? Why is it so awful? It didn't used to be. That's true. It didn't used to be. It used to be otherworldly or eerie or creepy, but it wasn't serial killers. That's the movies. Why is it? Because we love these horror movies, and we love this kind of entertainment. So this is because we're bloodier, we're more violent right now. Or, starting about 10 or 15 years ago, people would say, Halloween costumes are so sexy. How can you be a sexy pickle? That's the very edge of sexy costumes. They become satire. It was because our culture is filled with, you know, sexual imagery and fashions and stuff like that. I mean, it's everywhere. So of course it's going to come out on Halloween. And now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a big concern about costumes that are offensive to marginalized groups. So that's what we're
Yeah.
thinking about now, because groups have become more vocal with the internet, with social media. You get to hear a lot more from marginalized groups, and you get to hear a lot more about bullying and hatred and things like that. So you become sensitized to it, and all of a sudden we see it in our Halloween costumes. Can you dress as a Native American? Can you dress as an Egyptian if you're not an Egyptian?
Right.
So they're the questions that are happening in our culture, but they pop out on Halloween. So you're dead right. It shifts a little.
It
All the time it
it
shifts a
it
little.
does. I even seen it in movies. I don't know how big of a horror fan you are, and if you saw like the new Halloween that was released not too long ago, or the Goosebumps. I've seen both of them, for
Yeah.
Halloween. But yeah, even that movie, like what you were just saying. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis got, I think, a lot of backlash for, the movie that she was just in with the new Halloween, with, the amount of guns that she had in her home, which
Oh,
was really
really?
interesting to me because in the back of my head, I'm just thinking it's a movie. But
Yeah.
I guess that goes hand in hand too with Halloween. And it's just like that evolution that kind of keeps changing.
It keeps changing. It's where you get to see what's going on inside our minds, because at base it's imaginative, right? And at base it's bottom up. So, you make your own costume to express yourself, or you buy a costume to be something that you want to be, or something that
Right.
exhibits how clever you are or adorable. I'm thinking of kids' costumes and pets' costumes. And it's kind of a wonderful piece of theater that we do every year for each other. We don't have to. There's no requirement, but but we do it. I think that's kind of a great thing. And I haven't seen Halloween yet. I can't wait. It's on my
Oh, you
list.
haven't? Oh, then I
No.
won't. I won't spoil it for
Okay, thanks.
you. Yeah, but even that, I think you wrote in your book Halloween Nation too. After like 9/11, it was just that different vibe and feel. And I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's what really Halloween is, and that's what I really enjoy about it, because it kind of is evolving. It's not just the same as any other holiday like Christmas or Thanksgiving, where it's kind of, I almost feel like cookie cutter. It's the same. Whereas
Yeah.
Halloween is just, it's different. There's always a lot of different expressions that people could do, whether it's costumes, people are into horror movies, or, like the real history behind it. So there's all this different stuff that just, it kind of pulls you in all different directions, which I love.
It does, and it allows all different ages to celebrate it. So you're 6 years old, you care about your costume and your candy.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter where it comes from. If you're at a downtown mall, or if you're at going in the neighborhood, or if you're at a pumpkin patch. But then you can also celebrate it as a teenager and as a young parent, as an adult. You still can give out candy when you're 90 years old. I mean, it
It's
doesn't
true.
exclude anyone except for people who are not interested in celebrating it.
Which is sad. I always try to get people on the side of Halloween just because it is open to everybody, and it's a way of an expression, really, to me. It just
It is
depends on how
express.
you want to do that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not perceived that way. Sometimes it's perceived as offensive or aggressive or violent or
Which is sad.
satanic. But those are
That's all elements to everything, I feel like. No matter
yes,
what
yes,
you celebrate or what you believe in, there's always going to
yes.
be, the good versus the yin and yang. You have to have those
That's
two sides, it seems
right.
like. So,
That's right. Even when trick or treating was just kind of getting started here in the 40s and 50s, there was a lot of contention because some people saw it as, well, most people saw it as a way to keep kids busy on Halloween and give them something that they like to do and protect homeowners, which was great. But a lot of people also saw it as extortion. I
yeah,
have to have candy for kids that I don't know coming to my door. Are you kidding? And then some parents wouldn't let their kids go because they saw it as begging, and
right.
and that just didn't feel right to them. So even that, after a while, the edges got smoothed off of that, and everybody thought trick or treating was okay for for a while. And now even that's kind of morphing into where kids trick or treat, and
Right.
and what they do, and where's a safe and fun place to go. Mostly fun. You want to go where the other kids are.
That's true.
So, you get these hot Halloween neighborhoods now where everybody decorates and then everyone brings their kids there. And the person with the pumpkin all alone on a street by themselves sits there and waits, and nobody comes by.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
that's
shifting
like my
again.
house. I feel like we get like five trick or treaters now, and it's just, I mean,
Ah,
it's sad, but that's what I enjoy. As like getting older, I enjoyed seeing the costumes everybody comes to the door with.
yeah, yeah. And
So,
isn't it great when that one kid comes with a homemade costume that just is something you never thought of before?
oh, that I love because that's kind of
Yeah,
what I grew up on. Our next
yeah.
door neighbor, she made costumes, and then everybody in the whole neighborhood had a different costume. You'd be like, "Oh, this is what I want to be," and then she would make it, throughout the year, and it was such a great thing.
Aw.
Yeah. Well, I know you're running up against time, and I appreciate you just stopping on and talk to us about Halloween.
Anytime.
And we'll definitely have to
Anytime
get
at
you
all.
back on for a longer segment. Really dive into because I mean that's something that I really enjoy the history of the actual holiday, and maybe even talk more.
Oh, sure. Anytime. I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it, and you enjoy your Halloween.
All right. You too. Have a great Halloween.
Will do. Take care.
Bye bye.
Just gonna play some Halloween music, and Mike's gonna be on. Oh, this is exciting. He's here in studio right now. And I know the chat on YouTube has been going nuts. So there he is. He's got his Michael Myers doll. Love it. What's going on, buddy? Marty
What's up?
McFly? I should say Marty McFly.
Yeah, give me the title that I'm due, man. Happy Halloween,
Happy
Matt.
Halloween. How you doing?
Dude, this is awesome, man.
It is, right?
Yeah, thanks
That's
for
a good-
having me on. We've been
Ah.
talking about this for how long?
It's been a while to get you on. And you run, I mean, if people don't know that you're listening, since Greg's not here.
Yeah, that's so
we-
sad. I
it
was
is.
so hoping that I was going to be able to hang with him,
I
you
know.
know? I've only seen him at Hudson Cafe in the mornings getting coffee and stuff like that.
That's right. He has told me that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're from the Alone in the Dark podcast. So
Yes.
if there's kind of a mix over of people that are listening and
Yeah,
right now
hopefully
watching.
some of our followers are watching. If you
Yeah.
are, give a shout out, you know?
Heck yeah, we'll see. We have Joe. He's here, and then we had who else do we have in the chat? We had Plain and Simple podcast. What's going on? I mean,
Nice.
I saw that, and then Greg was actually on the chat. Greg's hunting for the Jersey Devil out
Oh,
there.
I like it, man. Well, hopefully he'll bring him back home.
Hell yeah.
Then we'll really have something to talk about.
I know, man. So we wanted to talk about a bunch of Halloween movies and,
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Yeah.
even last night, I got a chance to watch the producer's cut, which I haven't watched in a while, of
Yes.
Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
So great. Yeah, we did a whole podcast special
know.
just on that, comparing the two. You know,
I haven't listened to it yet. It's on my roll, but
Yeah, you should now that it's fresh in your mind.
right.
So what are your thoughts now watching it? You know, I know you've seen it before, but like watching it fresh, like I just love to get your take on it.
yeah, because normally, like, one of my movies, because I wanted to talk to you about this,
Mm-hmm.
is one of my movies that I've always watched during Halloween is Halloween 6.
Yes.
But I personally just have the regular
Yep.
Halloween, whatever, the theatrical
The
one.
theatrical, yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, I saw it on Amazon Prime last night. I was like, you know what? I watch it all the time. I watch the other
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
one. I'm going to watch this one since I haven't seen it in a while.
Right.
Yeah, I like it in the way that they explain, certain things and aspects,
Yes.
but there's certain parts that I was like, all right, the theatrical one I like a little bit better. That's just in my opinion. but,
Right. There's
Like the ending mostly.
you like the theatrical ending.
Yeah, just because it
Ooh.
leaves almost that open door and like kind of mystery behind it.
Yeah.
Where the producer's cut, it's like, you
yeah,
know.
they wrap it up a little more with the producer's cut.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's just the confusion, man. I remember seeing that in theaters,
Right.
and just walking out like, what did I just see? Like, where is this? What, like there was there was more questions than answers when I saw that, and it really kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
But you compare the two. The theatrical is like so much more violent. They went back and did all these reshoots and added all this stuff.
Yeah, they did.
And then another problem I have with the theatrical is the score. They don't put a lot of the score in there. They have like this sort of like songs kind of in there, which I don't mind. I love that song by Brother Kane. It's like
Yeah, that was at the was that at the
that's when they're like driving up into town. They're going to college. They're driving up.
Right.
Yeah. Where if you watch the producers, there's more of that, Alan Howarth's kind of score, that sort of spooky score,
Yeah.
which I really like. That's the part I like about the producers cut. There's more of that atmosphere and that vibe, which is
It
cool.
is, and they fill in the gaps a lot more. Which you're the filmmaker. You're the guy that knows more about this. This is what you talked about on your show.
Yeah.
So you would know more. Because me, I'm just looking at it as just a
just
guy I
fan.
enjoy.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not like in the detail. When people point it out, I'm like, yeah, the movie wasn't that great.
Right. Yeah.
So what makes them want to do something like that? You shoot so much of a film and then you kind of like chop it up. I mean, I know that's the whole process,
Right,
but at the same time, it kind of stinks. And
It
as like a
does.
fan, you're like a fan just as I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're like, why do that to a story?
Well, it's nothing to do with the filmmaker. It's nothing to do with the producer, because the producer was the one that was pushing for that original version, the producer's cut. It was the studio went in and said, look. Think about it. This is around the time when like Saw was like a big hit. There
Yeah.
was like this sort of like horror porn kind of like very like extreme violence. So they were thinking of like ticket sales, and they were like, look, they tested it out and they're like, there's not enough violence in this movie. We need to go back and add some really gory sort of shots,
Yeah.
So that's why they went back and did all that stuff. And they had to change the story because they kind of, once they added all that stuff, they had to sort of like mix it up and do this whole thing with Myers and the test tube babies. All that so crazy, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time I think Dimension Films picked it up, right?
Yeah, I
Was
think
that
so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, or was
Was it?
part 5? I don't know.
4 or 5 part of Dimension Films?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look back on that, but I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
it just had a different vibe. But I
did.
love both versions. Trust me. Like I consider, we'll talk about this because I made a list of movies that kind of give that Halloween vibe to me. But 4, 5, and 6, I like almost put them together. I call them like the Salt Lake City trilogy because they all filmed them in Salt Lake City.
That's right, they did.
So they all have that aesthetic of like this cool location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that. Those are like some of my favorites. And people always trash on part 5, but since it's like a direct pickup from 4, which is like my favorite, it's something about it I just love. Like I can let all the crappy stuff aside with part 5 because it's such a connection to 4 and it continues on. They had to like take that mess of 5
Right.
and write it into part 6. You know what I mean? So yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate about just like movies. And if I had like a movie franchise, whether it was Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
Elm Street, Halloween, I
Right.
would always try to be consistent with it.
Yeah,
Like with the
yeah.
masks, the masks always piss me off in
Yeah,
each one, how they
I
change.
know, I know.
It's like, come on, was he just going Halloween shopping every year?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was watching H2O yesterday. Dude, that mask and that Myers is like, he's so fat and bloated, and the mask is ginormous. Like, he just looks like he's smiling. You know, when they show that close-up shot of him, like in the
window,
like, yeah, it just looks like he's smiling at Jamie Lee Curtis. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, what did you think about that one? Because I didn't think it was terrible.
No, I
then,
liked it.
After viewing it a couple times, I wouldn't say it was like the worst one. But
No,
it's okay.
I'll drop a bomb to you right now. I liked it better than the new Halloween that just came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
This is something that Matt from Alone in the Dark, we're going to get into on our next podcast.
Oh, cool. You're going to talk about the new one.
I didn't like it.
A lot of, even like the group I went with, like the Screamers, as you recall us. Yeah, they were giving it because they were like, because they used to do like a rating system of scaredy cats. They were like,
cool.
I only give it 2 scaredy cats. Most of them didn't really.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away
because
a lot of people haven't seen it, but a lot of people haven't seen it yet. I'm sure that your listeners too. So
even Lesley we had on, she's going to see it. She hasn't seen it.
A lot of people I feel are going to see it after Halloween, but it's been interesting because when I saw it and I didn't like it, I was like, I'm the only one. But then I started seeing things pop up because I've been avoiding it, like I talked to you about before.
Yeah, I was sending you stuff.
I was like, stop. I'm like, Matt, no more. Like I saw the first trailer and then that was it. I didn't want to see any more. So I didn't really know. I didn't see any discussion about it, even when it came out.
Right.
When it first came out, I was like, avoid. So when I saw it, I'm like, am I the only one? But then I started to look after I saw it, and I was like, wow, other people don't like it too. It's not just me.
Yeah, I was kind of upset in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's no spoiler here, and we won't give out any. But just from the simple fact of like kind of what they did with the storyline.
Yes.
When I first heard that, I was like, man, like why couldn't they just pick up it after 2? I would get that a little bit more. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and they did reshoots on this one too, which I can't talk about because for people that haven't seen it. But after you see it, go look and see what they reshot. And there's a huge part of the end that they changed that I actually would have preferred if they kept it that way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So look it up. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with movies. I mean, again, I'm just a fan. I just go enjoy it. I mean,
which is the best way. Like me as a filmmaker, it's almost hard for me to enjoy a movie a lot of times because I'm kind of watching it as a fan, but at the same time I'm like analyzing like shots and just filmmaking choices, and I'm like get out of that mode, just go in as a fan. I try to get back to that fan mode, and it's kind of hard sometimes.
It is. And that's I don't know. I mean, it just kind of upsets me that they do this to film, but I wasn't expecting much.
Well, that's good.
Because when I look at remakes, everybody knows my feelings about it. I just don't like them. I don't know. I mean, just stick to what you know, what is good, what's the original. Like the original it's always going to be the original.
So simple, so classic. Yeah.
And then to kind of just keep doing all this remakes and then reboots and then whatever you want to call this. It wasn't really a remake. It's
it was like a sequel really to part 1, I guess. But
because we had a running joke with all of us because they'll be like, "Oh, Myers did this," and I'll be like, "No, that never happened."
Yeah, exactly. It was erased. Oh my gosh!
But Halloween 3, I'm watching that later.
Good. Yeah.
So that's one of my because I was talking to you about it, like the must watch for somebody like us that's really into the holiday, that is into horror, make it what is your, I guess you would say, movies that you must watch during Halloween?
Well, that's like what I made my list. That I was talking about movies to me that like you said, that feel like Halloween, but also are like dripping with Halloween. Like I love that term of when you watch a movie that's,
I like that.
That's just dripping, like oozing with Halloween. And Matt and I have talked about this before. Some movies have that vibe where, doesn't necessarily have to take place on Halloween. But my list kind of does, just because those are the movies that I have to go to every Halloween. And if I don't watch them, I get really, really sad. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
We should play some music for this.
Yeah.
Put a little,
there you go. Nice, dude. Good stuff.
A little Friday the 13th from the Nintendo version.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what are some of these movies on the list?
Well, my first one that I actually started watching yesterday that I have to finish today at some point because I'll be really sad if I don't, is Trick or Treat. Not Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat from 2007.
Okay.
Have you seen this movie?
Which one? Like, explain more, because I was just watching.
Oh my God, Matt.
Trick or Treats from 1985.
No. Yeah, I've seen that one, but that's not what I'm talking about.
All right, go.
Dude, you have not seen Trick or Treat?
The anthology one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Trick
Yes.
or Treat. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Because
Dude,
there's so many.
I know. There's Trick or Treat, the one with like Ozzy Osbourne and Gene
Yeah.
Simmons. That's a great one too. That's a classic.
And then you got Trick or Treats.
Yes.
That I
Yeah.
watched recently.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, not that great, but it was funny. It was more like
I think I saw it way back in the day, but I don't remember.
It's from 85.
I don't remember saying I should watch this again.
I don't think I will either.
But no, Trick or Treat.
Yes, I should watch that.
Dude, that movie is just like oozing with Halloween. Like just right from the start. I don't know if you remember how it opens. It opens with that like Halloween PSA like video from like the 60s or the 50s.
Yes.
And then it like morphs into the first scene. But everything about this movie, the set design, the locations, I think they filmed it somewhere in Canada, but it feels very middle America kind of.
It does.
And just the story alone, man, the crafting of this story and all these different stories and how they all connect, just blew me away. And this is a movie, I don't know if you remember, they advertised it for, I think starting in like June of that year, leading up to Halloween. And then all of a sudden it wasn't in theaters. The studio decided not to put it in theaters. So all these fans like me and Matt, like we were so excited. We were like,
I don't remember that.
We were like, oh my God, this movie is going to be the greatest movie ever. And then we were like, where is it? They never put it in theaters. They decided not to put it in theaters.
Crap, I don't even remember that.
It was crazy. So it went straight to DVD. That's like what they did basically. It came out on DVD. I don't even think it came out around Halloween. I think it was after. But then it like turned into this cult following, and now they're talking about doing a sequel. Michael Dougherty, the guy who wrote and directed it, is talking about doing a sequel where it's like another anthology with the main character Sam.
That'd be cool.
Which I'm so excited about. But I'm telling you, if anyone has not seen this movie, it is like I'm not lying, one of the greatest movies about Halloween that takes place on Halloween. It's so good.
It is. I forget about that movie.
Oh my God! It's
I mean,
like
I don't
such a
know why.
go-to.
It is.
It should be on everyone's like go-to Halloween list. It really should. It's an excellent one. Yeah,
Nice.
It's a good one. What about you? Do you have something? What's
I have tons of movies.
I know.
Like obviously the Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Yes.
I don't know why I love that one so much.
Because it's cool, man.
Yeah, it really is. Like Halloween 1 and 6 are kind of like the Halloween franchise. Well, Halloween 3 too.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like I'll watch that throughout the year.
Yeah, totally.
But those are the two movies that I, must watch.
Yeah.
And then obviously, which is not a horror movie for me, and Greg rags on me all the time for this, is Hocus Pocus. I'm obsessed
that's
with
on my
Hocus
list. Let's get into it.
I'm obsessed with
What do
that.
you mean it's not a horror movie? It's got elements of horror.
It
you
does.
know, witches and
I just bought the whole what was it, the special edition
Yes,
DVD with
I know.
the commentary in it, the storyboards.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but I'm
They had the booklet that comes with it, and then I've been collecting. You probably see them all over, like all these. From Spirit Halloween, the keychains. Like
they went to
Mystery
town
Minutes.
this year.
They did.
Last year was the costumes, and then this year they had all this merchandise. Right,
Yeah.
it was so cool.
There was an awesome write-up in the Horror Hound. I don't know if you get that, like Horror Magazine.
No, I don't.
I picked it up just because of the article that they did for Hocus Pocus.
That's so cool.
And I was like, they were talking about it now, like just because it came, like you were saying, Trick or Treat didn't come out, during the time. Same thing with like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
when
it was
originally,
summer, right?
It was right in the middle of July,
which makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's like, why would you do that as a studio? This is strictly a Halloween movie.
Oh my God!
Wait another 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
Released in September.
They do that a lot. I think didn't H2O come out in August or something? I think it did. H2O came out in August, and I was like, why? Wait, at least mid-September or something.
Even like Scream, right?
Scream was December,
right?
Which that makes more sense to me because that movie didn't take place at Halloween time,
no,
so it's okay. That's just like a typical horror movie thing, and they wanted to cash in on the Christmas, the holiday crowd,
of course.
But yeah, dude, Hocus Pocus is another one that's like one of my go-tos. It's amazing just because you and I love the town of Salem, Massachusetts. We've both been there. You know, you got your flag right there. I have this very same flag. That town just alone, man. Anyone who can get to Salem, Massachusetts, if you're a fan of Halloween, you have to go. It's like it's like the Mecca. You know what I mean? You just walk around that town, especially this time of year, and you just feel the vibe, which is so cool. And it's what's great about it is you can visit all the locations they shot Hocus Pocus. They're right there. They're just right there. The school is like literally down the block from the Hawthorne Hotel, the high school. I don't know if you were
it's
there.
now condominiums or whatever.
Something
it is,
like
apartment
that.
buildings now.
Yep,
it's right off the square.
Yeah, Allison's house house is like a couple blocks from there,
Yep,
you know,
the
down
Rhodes
the street.
Mansion.
Yep, and you can go to the
Max's house.
Max's house, which is in I think it's on the way to Marblehead, which is another amazing town. I don't know if you walked around Marblehead at all, but
it's just has that feel like that New England kind of hometown.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but feel. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Like when you think of Halloween, you think of those like kind of small New England towns, right?
Yeah.
It's like Midwest or New England. You know what I mean?
It is.
And it's just dripping. It's the whole movie is dripping everything. Even the stuff they shot in the studio, like a lot of the cemetery stuff, like everything just meshes together so well. And it's like this perfect Halloween movie. You know what I mean?
It really is. I might watch it again today.
I didn't watch it yet this year. Me and my kids were like, we had to pick something last night, and it's another one on my list that we can get into, but Monster House.
Okay, I like that. The animated one?
Yeah, that movie.
That's good.
Dude, tell me that movie's not dripping Halloween too. That little neighborhood and
It does.
and the kids, man, that one kid, Chowder, his friend, is so like what's his name from the Goonies? Like it's just got this like kind of 80s vibe, this fun vibe. And the animation's pretty cool. That was like I think one of the first movies where they did that sort of digital animation, that kind of high-end digital animation. And there's something about it that's so great. And that story about those kids and I love the girl, like you know, the girl aspect, and they're both kind of like the girl. Like I love story like that. You know what I mean? That's like a very Spielberg kind of thing, you know?
And that haunted house in that neighborhood that everybody knows.
Yeah, and that neighborhood just reminds me of like the streets I used to trick or treat on here in Middletown. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it just
great.
has that vibe. So that's another one that if you haven't seen, everyone's like, oh, it's a kid's movie. It's really not. It's just like a fun Halloween movie. You know what I mean?
It is. I have that on DVD.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if
another
it's here.
great one. Yeah, that's another good one to get you in the mood. You know what I mean? I just like So we watched that last night, and that was fun.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't seen that. That's like one of those movies that I only watch once a year. It's like right
Right.
before Halloween, I'll put it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Especially if you have young kids and you can get them kind of
It's like a
started
good
in
gateway.
slow.
It's a gateway kind of scary horror film. So yeah, it's
Not one that I always watch, but one that I was recently talking to about was the I guess the original Disney Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I haven't
like the
seen
cartoon-
that
the
forever.
cartoonist one?
Oh my god,
I was looking for it. I can't find it.
is it
I was
on
I was
eBay or
looking at-
something or
Well, yeah, I could buy it, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to watch it like right now, and I
Yeah.
totally forgot about it.
right?
And I was like, how do I get this? And
Yeah.
I was looking at libraries and
Yeah, I'm
you
surprised
know,
like
on the internet.
Middletown doesn't have it or something.
Yeah, they don't.
Because I think that's where I probably got it from. You know, back when
I
I
think
was
they
a
have
kid.
like I don't know if it's the same one, but like Ichabod Crane and the Mr. Toad or whatever
Yeah,
it is. But
yeah.
it was some. Yeah, I've been trying to look for that.
That's
but
funny.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
I totally forgot about that. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, without a doubt.
So it's like another Halloweenish,
Yeah.
story time movie. And
Yeah.
I was recently just up in Sleepy Hollow, so that was kind of cool.
I was supposed to go this year, and then every year we say we're going to go.
There's
and then
not
we
much.
never go.
I mean, like you were saying, Salem, it's like
Yes.
dripping.
Yeah.
There, it's not as much.
Right.
It's just like a town, small town vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still really a great town if anybody wants to go.
Right.
And they have the cemetery. They do the tours. The one man show and stuff. But
So did you do some of the Halloween activities?
oh
Like-
yeah,
Yeah.
I always do.
So
but-
is the cemetery, is that where they have like the jack-o'-lantern set up, or they have like a huge
yeah,
like blaze kind of thing or
It's
something?
not right there, but it's very close by in walking distance because
Gotcha.
the town's really small.
Yeah.
So they do like their haunted attraction, by the historical society,
Mhm.
and then like just a block away from there is the blaze,
Oh, cool.
which is really cool. So if
Yeah.
no one's check that out.
I definitely gotta make it up there at some point.
One thing I want to do, I have to
Mhm.
look it up because it has been a few years since I've been up to Salem.
Yeah.
And speaking about like Salem, like dripping, I'm not into plays,
Yeah.
but there was a play that they put on at the, it was like the Witches Museum.
Okay.
It changed names so many times. It was like the museum and then like theater or
Right.
something. I don't know if it's the same name, but
Yeah.
they did like this 2-person play, which was phenomenal.
Like a full play or like a short thing?
It's I would say it's like a half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh,
I'll have
okay.
to look it up real quick.
Was
if I
it
can.
was it interactive or no?
Yeah, it's where like the stage comes down the middle.
Oh, okay.
And then like the props and everything, like the smoke's blowing behind you, you hear noises, but then
Cool.
the stuff's going on in front of you, and then like it's just when you realize it's just two people
Yeah.
doing all this stuff,
Right.
And then whoever's behind the scenes doing some of this other. But
I don't think I've ever done that
it was
one
such
before.
an amazing thing. I'm gonna have to find it because
Yeah.
I was so blown away. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to go up to Salem again soon,
Yeah.
just to to do that play.
Well, it made me think of when I was
know.
up there. Yeah, look it up while I'm telling this story. I got a funny story. Before I had kids, that it was like a guy's trip to go up to Salem. That's how it started. So one year, Matt and I went. Matt from our podcast, And Matt's a funny guy. You know, he can be kind of quiet, but he's just very outgoing.
Yeah.
So we went to this one called Cry Innocent. It's like this interactive. That's why I asked you if it was interactive. It's like the audience participates, I guess, somewhat. They ask the audience to, like, you know, participate in something.
Okay.
So we're sitting there and there's, you know, they're doing like the trial or something. It's like the trial, the Salem witch trial. And they start asking the audience, has anyone seen Bridget Bishop like that night or something? And all of a sudden, Matt out of nowhere just stands up and goes, I have. I was with her that night. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And why is I'm like so embarrassed, you know? And he's like, I was with her in bed. Like he just went into this whole thing and he started acting and I was dying, but I was like so embarrassed. So it was funny. It was just one of those things where I saw Matt in a light that I've never seen him before, you know?
That is funny.
Okay, so this is it, huh?
Yeah, I believe this is it. And it was just the way that they had this set design.
Cool. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, but it changed its name so many times.
Right.
But it was just the way that they did it was just really amazing.
That's cool.
I can't, like, I'm not this type of guy that goes to plays. Like, I don't mind them.
Right.
But whatever they did with this one, yeah, the Gallows Hill, Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, there's so much going on up there. I think they just started. They started a film festival. I don't know if you saw that. There's like the Salem Film Festival.
I saw a couple films, like, because they do that around Halloween.
Yeah,
and in their like little theater. The theater was like 2 rows.
Oh yeah, in that little mall, right?
Yeah. And I got to see some of the cool like short films for Halloween.
They did a whole film festival. They had a lot of special guests and stuff. Like Elvira was up there. Cassandra Peterson, she was one of the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I know that they're really up in it, you know, and every year we go, we didn't go this year, but every year we go, it seems like the crowds get bigger. We always go at the beginning of October and it gets more and more crowded. So it seems like the word's spreading and people are, you know, really going, you know, it's nuts. I can't even imagine going this time of year. Like I heard you can't even move in town. It's like nuts.
Can't. I've been there. I think it was like 6 years ago on Halloween and it was just like crazy.
Yeah. See, I don't think I'd enjoy it if I went up at that time of year.
Yeah. People were like, you know, get out of your hotel early because we couldn't even get a hotel in the city.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It's really small anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, it was one of those things where I think it took us like almost like an hour from where we were to get in to Salem, and we didn't even leave that late.
Yeah,
what I think of was like late.
Right.
And it was just like, and the guy's like, yeah, this is how it is every Halloween. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So they take it seriously up there.
They do. Yeah, it's definitely worth. You know, if you're a fan of Halloween, you have to get to Salem.
Yeah, I always try to go like in November, like the week usually after, because there's stuff always still going on. There's still tons of people there, but it's not as like, it's kind of like over. Now it's just like everybody pouring out of there.
Yeah. You ever go to Salem Beer Works? That's like my favorite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They redid that.
They have the big witch neon sign. I just let their pumpkin beer is the best.
I got a growler there one time when we were there.
They have really good food too. It's good, man.
Yeah, there's tons of places there.
Yeah.
I forget the what was it, Count Orlok's?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a cool thing to check out.
Yeah. They have like that wax museum and then it's like a haunted house at night. Yeah. That's cool.
Salem, there's something about Salem. Even Greg is not here with us, but he has like a tie to like Hawthorne Hotel. There's a picture of him as an old bellhop.
I remember you showed me that picture. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's on our website. So
that's cool. So Halloween 3, you were just saying you're going to watch it. That's on my list as well.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Oh, dude, come on. That movie is like dripping with Halloween also. Like there's so many great moments in that. What do you like about it?
I love the masks.
Yes.
Just the simple fact that like, and I know you have them.
Yeah,
and they do
I almost showed up wearing one, but I was
really?
like, I was like, I'll go with Marty McFly.
I feel like a lot of people, like even like I have a horror print up here, and a lot of people take those 3 masks and just you see them in everything.
Yeah.
It seems like. I don't know if like that was like the first time they actually, because I don't know, but like was that the first time that those 3 masks were kind of used in a movie?
Yeah, because I think Don Post designed them, the famous mask maker, and I think he designed them. I think he had like versions of those masks before the movie.
Okay,
but I think he kind of made those 3 masks for Halloween 3. I think they asked for those, you know, and I think he said, "Oh, I have something like that. I can redesign it or whatever," you know, because I remember seeing that witch before Halloween 3 came out. You know that.
I mean, I always feel like that's kind of like the go-to masks. You know, even just loving the history of Halloween, you kind of always see those mixed into each other. Yeah, they're always around. But yeah, something about those masks.
Oh, and the way they use them in the movie too.
Yeah, when they go to the store, I always wanted a store.
Yes.
Like where you walk in and it's
like they had that display.
Yeah, it's that store.
Yeah, and I love, you know, my favorite part is like the montage. It's like towards the end where all the kids are going out trick or treating. They show all the different cities.
Oh yeah.
And there's the one kid like skateboarding, and then there's like the other kids, and then they show that awesome silhouette shot of the kids walking over the hill. It almost looks like something out of E.T., you know, like that scene from E.T., but you just see the silhouette of the masks and the music's playing in the, oh my God, dude. That just reminds me of my childhood. Like, as many people that hate Halloween 3 because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it.
Yeah.
If you consider that movie a separate movie, it is not a Halloween movie in the sense of the franchise. It's a Halloween movie in the sense that it's a Halloween movie. Right. You know what I mean? But if you called that just Season of the Witch, I guarantee like the people that didn't like it would like it all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
I think there's like kind of like a cult following for that movie as well.
Totally. Yeah.
And I mean, I know they reference, what was it, in a commercial? They referenced like Michael Myers in a commercial.
Well, they show movie. It's like
right?
They show the like a commercial for the movie when he's sitting at the bar. So it's in that world in a sense. You know what I mean? But yeah. And what's crazy, I don't know if you heard the story. John Carpenter came up with the idea for Halloween 3 because he wanted to take that and make the rest of the Halloween movies like each one will be a different one. Right. So after Halloween 3, there was going to be like Halloween 4, and it was going to be like a different story, almost like a Twilight Zone kind of thing. I kind of wish they did like.
I know. I wish they kept the Halloweens and did them almost like a separate thing and kept their anthology.
Yeah, because that would have been cool.
Yeah, wasn't that whole plan with Deborah Hill and him to do like kind of that?
Yeah, they were going to just continue, and each movie was going to be a separate story. You know, instead of this mask maker, it would be something else,
something like that.
Yeah, but if they just didn't call it Halloween, if they just called it Season of the Witch, and the next one would be whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't they reference in the new movie like something almost like the Babysitter Murders or something? Like, wasn't that the original title to Halloween?
Yeah,
or
I think it was.
Along those
lines.
That
was the original script, I think. Right. Yeah, which is funny. Did you notice the Halloween 3 masks in there?
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
It was.
That was like one of the things I liked about the movie.
Yeah, they kind of threw in like little, you know. What do you want to call them? Easter eggs or homages to
totally.
like the different movies.
Yeah,
which is cool, but
yeah, it's good. So from Halloween 3, I just want to just throw out my last pick here because I think it's my all-time favorite. And honestly, I put this. It's a tie between 1 and this movie. It's Halloween 4. And the reason why I love Halloween 4 so much is that it's the first one I saw in theaters. I've talked about it on our podcast all the time. But you know that, like, when you see a movie like that in theaters when you're young and impressionable, it just stays with you so much.
It does.
You know? So when I saw Halloween 4, I've mentioned this story so many times on our podcast, but I've never shared it with you, I don't think. I saw it at Middletown movie theaters, you know, where the Target is now. And there was a guy dressed up as Michael Myers walking around the aisles during the whole movie, and he'd sit behind you and he'd like touch your shoulder. Really? So I said to Matt, you know, I'm like, this could never happen today. You know, someone would get shot or the cops would come. You know what I mean? But it was such an awesome experience, and it made me love the movie that much more. You know. Because we were coming off of Halloween 3, you know, and it was like all of a sudden there was like no Michael Myers for a long time.
Right.
And then I remember hearing, you know, at that point I'd seen Halloween 1, you know, on TV several times around Halloween. Remember, it was 1 and 2 I felt like was on TV all the time when we were kids, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I saw those movies. So when I heard Halloween 4 was coming out, I was like, oh my God, he's back. You know, this is great. You know?
The opening to that movie I think is really good.
That's one of my notes. The opening to that movie, the atmosphere and the sound and like the farm tools and the decorations, that is dripping Halloween. It's like crazy, you know? And just like we talked about before with Halloween 6, that town of Salt Lake City, the way that they set design that town and you know, made the trick-or-treaters and like the houses, like it just has this really cool, almost like a New England kind of vibe. It just has this great, you know, setting, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff, like I love setting in a horror movie, you know what I mean? If the setting's not right,
I do too.
I'm not a big fan. You know, that's one of the problems I had with the new Halloween. Even though that scene was,
that's what I feel like about H2O.
That was California. It took me out of it a little bit. That prep school thing, I was like, you know.
Yeah.
The opening scene H2O.
That one's good.
Awesome. But yeah, once you're in that prep school, it's kind of like, it doesn't have the same vibe, you know?
Yeah, decorate it with Halloween a little bit more.
I know. Yeah, they didn't do it. But anyway, so Halloween 4 is like,
I got you.
My all-time, you know?
I'll have to watch that again because I don't hate those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Resurrection is my worst.
Oh, yeah. I can't watch that.
Everybody seems to hate that movie.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. But Halloween 4 is a good rewatch because it's like when you were talking before about Halloween 1 is such a simple story. You know, even though we have this whole, you know, the niece and, you know, like it's a little complicated, but Halloween 4 has something about it that's very classic and very simple. And the scares and the kills, they're all just they're just orchestrated really well, you know.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
You should watch it because it's definitely either my number one or my number two in the series, you know, as far as my favorites, you know.
Another it's not a movie, but
yeah,
and it's just another kid. I mean, I think I'm a kid at heart. I don't know. I mean, but Erie, Indiana.
Oh my God, I know you love that show.
Yeah, the scariest home movies. It's just Halloween. It's set on Halloween.
I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, and he talks about like, you know, back in Jersey when I was, you know, we go, you know, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And then, like he's talking like the whole beginning intro.
That's so
and
cool.
Then it's like, oh, he has to, you know, babysit his friend's little brother while his, you know, mom goes out, and then it just Halloween. It's just that's one of the, you know, shows I have to watch. It's only like 24 minutes. So
yeah, no, they're
pop
quick.
in my DVDs and then watch it. It's great.
Is there like a good set of that you can buy or no? Because I have like a bootleg copy I got from like Schiller. You know what I mean? It's like all crappy, you know, right from TV. But is there a decent set that you can buy?
Not anymore.
No,
I forget when it came out. It was like on the anniversary. I think it was for the 20th or 15th anniversary or something.
Yeah,
the whole DVD box set came out. I was like, oh, I got to get it.
Yeah.
So I remember I was in college when it came out, and I was like, I just got to get my hands on this any way I can. And I pre-ordered it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I have the whole, but I don't think they make them anymore.
So probably eBay or something. You probably
when I did, because I was like, oh, maybe I should get like another box set just in case.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Because if I can't find this, but they actually put it on Prime, like Amazon Prime.
Yes, I saw that.
So you can buy it there. If you want.
Yeah, that's
cool. They
cool.
had that one in the other dimension.
Yes, yeah. I kind of remember that one too.
Yeah. That was like when they started to realize, oh crap, we had a good thing, we kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
And then now, like, let's try to like reboot it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was.
But that's a great show. That's
it is,
good.
man.
Like that and the original Goosebumps.
That.
You know what I mean? Like
the Goosebumps.
Oh,
I mean, I could never go wrong with Goosebumps. Like, I just went to see Goosebumps 2.
Yeah, how was it? I haven't seen it yet.
I like Goosebumps 1 better.
Well, I could tell it was going to be a better movie. Goosebumps 1 was great.
It was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I always look at sequels like, all right, like I said about the new Halloween, I don't expect much.
Right.
You know, because like when they kind of remake stuff and then try to make it screams Halloween in the movie. But I felt like the story was quick.
It was too fast.
That's what it felt like in the movie.
Yeah.
Like after watching it, I was like, oh,
like it moved fast, or the movie was just too short. Because like, you know, some stories are like boom, 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 and it's like slow down.
I would say it moved fast.
Okay, gotcha.
So then it was like it seemed like, you know, an hour and a half movie, but it moves really quick. Like it seemed like the beginning, you know, kind of was like, all right, they're trying to explain too much, and then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah,
it's like, wait, that's it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh crap. But
that's
like
bad.
You have some of the same, you know, the characters that you love, and almost like the same with Halloween 3.
Yeah.
They had like the store scene, which is in the commercial.
Right.
But like it kind of screams that, like, oh man, I wish going into a store
That's
and
cool.
kind of having that, even though it was like a generic Walmart or whatever kind of store.
But it was like Halloween time.
Yeah, but like that one aisle when they go down, it's just like, oh, this is awesome.
That's like
I wish they had these displays and set up so in some of the stores by us.
I don't know if you remember in Halloween 4, that scene where they take the little girl to get her costume at the pharmacy. There's so many great moments in that scene.
Yeah, there is.
Because it's
I don't know why I remember that kind of stuff, like the store scenes. I don't
know
if there's something in my childhood.
I think it's like just loving Halloween and loving the nostalgia of all the little things, you know, like
going
to this day,
stores.
like just going to like a CVS or Rite Aid. I just go right to that aisle and I'm like, you know,
yeah.
You get
all
all
the
excited.
Party Cities, like go there, like, oh, what do they got? The new
know,
stuff.
I know. It's so cool. But no, that's great. I guess I'll just wait for that one to come out on DVD, or you know, I'll stream it or something. But
yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's a kids movie. You know, younger than us, but
but the first Goosebumps movie was great.
I really enjoyed it.
I love that, the story of that and everything about it's so good.
Well, even this one, they kind of have like that Halloween 3 vibe-ish with the costumes that they wear.
Oh, cool.
So you kind of that it felt like that to me.
Yeah,
you know, like the witch, the pumpkin,
right?
And,
that's
the skeleton.
cool.
So that's where I was asking. Like, I don't know if that was like the first movie, the Halloween 3.
Yeah,
where that, you know, you kind of see that, because now I feel like all movies or just, you know, TV shows, I see that, you know.
Yeah,
and that was another one. Goosebumps had the same thing.
That's cool. Is Jack Black in it for like a hot second, or it's like one of those things they can only afford him for like a day, and they're like, all right, here's your one scene.
That's where it felt like really fast.
Yeah.
Because it like comes in, hey, I'm here to save the day. And it's like, oh, done. See you later.
Now, I keep asking questions about this movie, but I'm just curious. Is it the same town? Is it the town in Delaware, or is it like a completely different story?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I figured they couldn't pick up from, you know, the other characters and stuff. you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool because the regular Goosebumps series wasn't
Yeah,
like that. It's
right.
not like it was all set in the same town.
Yeah, that's
so,
true. It's like a separate story
Yeah,
kind of thing.
this
That's
kind of
cool.
had like a cool setting to it. You know,
Mhm.
they have Nikola Tesla and stuff, so that
Right.
like they kind of mix that like history into it.
Yeah.
and, like kind of R.L. Stein's history into the movie
Yeah.
itself. And I always find it awesome that like they can make like cameos.
Yeah.
So he's in it like a little part.
That's
Where
cool.
you're like, oh, if you don't know who R.L. Stein is,
Yeah.
you know, you'd be like, oh, it's just another character.
Right,
But
right.
then you see him, you're like, oh,
It's like
yeah,
a
there
like
he
a
is.
Hitchcock thing.
Yeah,
You know, when Hitchcock
exactly.
would pop up. Yeah.
Same thing in the new Marvel movies with what's his face.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
You see all that.
That's cool.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's fun.
yeah, totally.
One movie, like it's not a movie. They make documentaries. I don't know if you ever heard of Small Town Monsters. I know it's
No.
not like horror related, and I know that's what your forte
yeah,
is. But
yeah.
they do documentaries. They just released one too in October, which I think is cool.
Cool.
So
That's
like
awesome.
a werewolf type
No way. That's awesome.
thing.
And
So
what is that? Where can you watch that?
you can get them on Amazon,
Amazon?
and
Cool.
iTunes, a bunch
Nice.
of different places.
That's
but
cool.
I know they stream them on like the Prime. So
Nice.
I have to rent those out because I watched all of them. They did like the Mothman.
Oh,
like, different
cool.
stuff like
Oh
that.
no, I love stuff like that. That's
Yeah, so
definitely
they
into
just
that.
released a new one in October a couple weeks ago.
Which one
kinda-
was it?
What was it? Let me look it up.
Yeah, which
It's like
monster?
the Braytown. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Gotcha.
But they put on some good stuff. And
That's
like when they
cool.
were releasing some stuff here for Halloween, I was like, dude, gotta check this one out
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Even though it's not like your typical like go-to
Right.
horror movies or anything like that.
No, that's fun though. I love documentaries. Are so just exciting, you know.
Yeah, they are. And they put out a lot of different ones. I feel like
And I feel like the quality is getting better and better with
It
documentaries.
has been.
You know what I mean?
yeah, so far.
Oh, look at that Boggy Creek.
Yeah, that
That's
was like an
cool.
old I don't know if you saw that old movie.
No, I didn't,
the
but I know
70s.
it. Yeah, I know of it. That's cool. Some
I
good
think
ones.
it was this one.
The Bray Road Beast.
Yeah, this is it.
Interesting. Oh, it's like a werewolf kind of thing or something.
Yeah, and
That's
people had
cool.
sightings. So yeah, you could find it available on
So it's on
DVD
Amazon
video, Amazon
Prime.
Prime,
Cool. I have Prime.
Vimeo.
I'll have to check that out. That's awesome.
Yes, but like you said, they have been, getting better and better
Yes,
with some of their stuff. Because I
yeah.
think their first one was the Mothman. Maybe it wasn't. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But go to their website, smalltownmonsters.com.
Cool.
So that's another thing that I enjoy watching this time.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm almost caught up on all of the unsolved mysteries.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I started rewatching those too. They
Oh,
were
did
on
you?
Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I started watching them because another podcast I listen to, they always talk about it. And I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I was just laughing, it's just funny. It brought back some memories of
does,
my
doesn't it?
childhood. Yeah, that show used to freak the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
And same thing, getting back to the point where producers or studios,
Yeah.
anybody comes in, like Hollywood steps in and
Mm-hmm.
messes shit up.
Yeah.
After 7 seasons, perfect, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden 8, they started switching up the intro
Oh, really?
and like the music and like
And it
every
probably lost.
season it seemed like they switched it up, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't have that same
Right.
feel as like I remember.
They jumped the shark. Right?
Yeah, but I have 1 season left, so.
There you go. Gotta follow through, right?
Oh, I am. Plus, Robert Stack is in it, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
voice used to terrify
Oh
me
my
when I
God.
heard it.
Yeah. And
So.
that theme song, man. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's really
Well,
scary.
that's it. And then they switched it up in like 8, 9,
Yeah.
and then 11 they switched it up again, and I was
Yeah.
just like, come on, man.
I know.
I hate that they do that
I
kind
know.
of crap.
Why? Why
Just kills me in
Yeah,
movies.
it's such a
Like,
good thing. Don't get rid of it.
If you made like a full-on like big production, would you let somebody do that to a movie?
No,
I mean,
absolutely
I feel
not.
like if you had that hard work and like wrote it
Yeah.
and directed it, I feel like it kind of sucks.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate when that happens.
I know.
I really
know.
do.
I know.
It
Yeah.
just sucks.
It does suck. It's a bummer.
I wish there was a way now, and I know there is, because you see people like Small Town Monsters,
Right.
or even kind of like what we do to an extent, where we have our YouTube channels
Yeah.
and we kind of make our own content. And it's like, I feel like that should be like the way, the future, instead of like these big kind of, you'll always still have that, but
Right.
where it's not like so many hands are in the cookie jar, kind of like
Yes.
screwing things up. And
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I want to do. This is my vision. Like, let it work. You
Right.
know? Same thing with like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a big thing. It was released in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Didn't get like that much play. And then all of a sudden it was like a snowball effect,
Yeah.
and it just became huge. And now it's like, now we must capitalize on it.
Right.
Make all these horror minis and,
I know.
different DVDs. And
Yeah.
so
It's nuts. Yeah.
It's cool as a fan, like when you get stuff like this, and I'm trying to collect them all.
It's cool that it's accessible because when we were kids, you couldn't find stuff like that for the movies that you liked. You know what I mean? It was like impossible unless it was like the most popular movie like E.T. There was no merchandise. You know what I mean?
There
like
wasn't.
Jaws and E.T. and like those kind of movies. But you think of like little movies or smaller movies, you can just go out and find stuff. People are making their own stuff. It's kind of like exciting. You know, it's almost like it's so accessible now. You know.
Yeah,
that it's just kind of cool. If you're a fan, you can find something for whatever you're a fan of.
it's true. You could find anything, even like some of the old. Because I have the whole Goosebump collection,
Yes.
of the original '62, and there was a couple ones that I had to piece together. So finally, I got all of them.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
It's always a good thing now at like eBay, Amazon.
I know.
you could just go on and try to find somebody who has it. So it's
a
great
terrible
now.
thing. Like that's like my new obsession is VHS tapes. Like I've been buying up old
'cause you
horror
had
movies
the
on
new
VHS.
shelf, the new shelving.
Oh, dude, it's killing me. It's like, you know, there's like certain movies. Like I'm not buying everything. I'm just buying the movies that I love, and I'm pretty much there. There's only a few I'm searching for. One being Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I had. I had the original.
Oh, would
and
you
I
sell it or
sold it.
something?
I sold it, and then I was like, "Why did I do that?" You
I've done that
idiot.
to some stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I had, and then I like recollected it. You know,
Yeah.
to put in the studio.
Right.
So
But
I've been there.
There's something fun about throwing that VHS tape and hearing
It's
that
different.
and then and seeing the crackle on the screen. I don't know. There's just like a nostalgia for me that I just love. You know.
Well,
just
I
miss
know you
those
had
days.
Kenny on from the
Yeah.
Myers House NC on recently, and then because I just recently talked to him
Yeah.
too, and he has the same feeling.
Yeah.
You know, where he has like the TV.
Yes.
And then like he pops in his VHS.
It's something
and he
so
loves
great.
It.
It just brings you back. You know what I mean? And
Do you think that would be like in another, I guess, 10, 15, 20 years now line when like kids that are growing up now, like are of age when they come in, like there'll be like a revival of like stuff from now.
there might be. I think all
Like-
that stuff. will
Like I'm
kinda-
trying to think like what's coming out now.
Right.
That, you know, kids would be like, oh my God, you
Yeah.
know, like let's
Well,
kind
think about it. I think it's going to be like 3D stuff because think 3D like televisions are phasing out. Like people aren't, you know, they're not making them anymore. So I feel like that's going to be like a weird nostalgia thing. Maybe, you know, a couple generations from now, people will be collecting that. Oh, they used to do 3D movies and you know, that was like, you know, they brought it back and I got to search for those TVs. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I just feel like that might be it because that's kind of like a nostalgia thing. It's just like, you know, it's just kind of like a weird gimmicky kind of thing, you know, that maybe people will be into. I don't know.
Could be.
But
So we'll wrap this up. I
Yeah.
know people want to celebrate Halloween.
I know. We're keeping people.
I can't believe it is Halloween.
Dude,
man.
it's I heard you talking about it at the beginning. I'm glad you feel
Yeah.
this way because Matt always gives me a hard time on our podcast. I just have this like sadness on Halloween, you know?
Yeah, you even heard Lesley. She
Yeah.
has the same feeling.
I'm glad to hear that because I thought I thought I was the only one, just like the new Halloween movie. I feel a sadness. I wake up this day and I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yeah,
And it's not over. You know what I mean?
It isn't.
I should embrace it and be like, yeah, you're gonna hand out candy and scare kids today. But I just feel this like, you know.
No, I hear you. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I love that thing that you posted last year. I don't know
Oh,
if you
the
posted
video.
it.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was fun. I don't think I'm gonna go that crazy this year. You know, I'm getting to that point where my kids they're
Stop it.
they're
please.
13. They're like Dad. You know, like a little bit.
You're that guy in the neighborhood, please.
Yeah,
Calm
but
down.
it's cool. Yeah, but it's fun. You know. It's
No,
fun.
it is. Yeah, I feel the same way, and
Mm-hmm.
I, like most, like that's what I even said to Lesley. You know, it's one of the hardcore people that really love this holiday.
Yes.
I feel like it's just a build up. I mean, even talking to Kenny,
Yeah.
he was just saying that like on Halloween, I feel the same way because
Yeah.
everybody's like, you must be doing this, and
Right.
you know that. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I just like to take it easy.
It's
hand
almost
out
like a
candy.
mourning day, right? You're almost
Yeah.
like you're in this like weird mindset where you just have to like be calm and just
Yeah,
like
just watch horror movies.
right. And it's like, and then it's gone. The day's gone,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you know.
It's sad.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I think I've told you this before. My house is decorated like nuts. I didn't go too crazy this year because I was super busy this October, but you come by my house 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow, gone, all gone. It's all gone. Like I cannot look
I'm
at
the
it.
same way.
Yeah, I
already
can't
have-
see it.
I already have in my truck like the bin that I just put
You're ready to
everything back
go.
in.
I just can't look at it because it makes me sad to see it after Halloween.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, I want to keep celebrating, and then people are just like,
Yeah, it's November.
But I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to, and I asked about this, the hardcore fans of Halloween feel the same way.
right, that's
I think
interesting.
Majority of the people, not all of the
Yeah.
people. Because I mean, I even still wake up this morning. I was like so giddy, like
yeah,
a little kid.
I know.
Like, oh yeah, I get to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And like I almost like rushing things.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my shirt. I'm running out
Right,
the door,
right.
and they're like, I got to do this. I got to do that.
I know you
do
feel this like it's
Yeah.
like it's our holiday. It's our day,
Yeah.
For all the fans out there, this is our day, This is
really
it.
is.
It really
and
is.
true. It is a big build up. Like
Yeah.
watching all these movies, like going to the
It's
movie
all the
theaters,
anticipation, right?
going to different haunted attractions, which we didn't do.
I know. We talked about going. I know.
And now
I'm so bummed.
But that's the thing. Like with us, I feel like it's always there's something always going on.
Yes.
No matter what, even if we can't do it and go to different haunted attractions, which I always try to get to like 1 or 2 now.
Right,
I used to do like 13.
Oh my God.
But
yeah.
it got like way too much.
Yeah, but next year we got to go to that Nightmare on Gravity Hill
'cause
because
you
I know
said
you
that
went a
was-
long time ago, but it's they've gotten so much better.
Yeah, people have been saying that too. I remember
It's great
reading
and
the
it's
reviews.
long too. It's like a half-hour walk. It's really
I gotta do
good.
that.
Yeah, so next year, man, you and me, we'll be there, dude.
All right,
yeah,
sweet.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, because I've been following the scarefactor.com because they put out all the different
cool.
haunted attractions all over.
Oh, that's
the US.
awesome.
So you can go and find out where like the trails are, where
Yeah.
like haunted houses are.
Because those are the best, right? Like,
Yeah.
people go to they're like Fright Fest. Dude, Fright Fest is boring as hell. It's not scary at all.
I haven't been there since I was like 16.
Gotcha. Yeah, I went a few years ago because
Oh, did you?
my wife, has season tickets and she's always like trying to get me to go. And every time I go, I'm like, ugh, I should have went to like, Nightmare on Gravity Hill or like some little rinky dink. Because those are the best ones. The little rinky dink farm, like hay rides and stuff. They're the best ones.
Yeah, me and Greg have like a memory of going to Corner Chaos. I forget. It
Where's
had to
that
be
one?
during. It's down in East Windsor.
Okay.
So it's by the Field of Terror, the other one. They're
Oh,
really close
I've heard of
together.
that one.
And yeah, we always tell this story. We were coming out of the corn maze or like the hayride, whatever it was. We were just coming out of the corn thing. And there was this guy and the girl in front of us. It seemed like there was nobody there that night because I always try to go on like a Thursday or Sunday when it's not too packed.
Yeah.
And they were holding hands walking, and then you just see this guy book out with a chainsaw. I was like, and the guy just took off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like,
You left the girl?
Yeah. He took up. Me and my brother are behind him, just like laughing.
Oh, that's
And
so
we're just
great.
like, what is going on?
Oh, that's amazing.
She just like standing there. And,
Oh
like,
my
he
God.
took off.
Oh, that's so funny. That's great.
But it's like stuff like that I really enjoy.
Those are the things you remember, and I love that
and
stuff.
that was years ago too
Yeah.
that we did that.
That's so great.
it's
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I guess you're just like me, man. On Halloween, you just kind of take it easy.
That's it. And I'm lucky because I live in this town, Atlantic Highlands, that I always talk about on our podcast. It's like the quintessential. It looks like a New England town. You know it
Yeah,
very
it
well
does.
because you kind of work there. It's a great town, but we get a lot of trick-or-treaters, which I'm lucky. You know what I mean? I'm lucky to live in one of those towns
You
where
are lucky.
we get that, so it's fun. So I'll be busy today. After my kids get home, I'll be handing out candy and, little scares here and there,
Nice.
So it's a good
And
day.
watching Don't Go in the House.
Yeah.
That's one of your favorite movies.
No, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite movie. It's filmed across the street from my house, but in no way it's one of my favorite movies. That movie's terrible.
No, the good old C or D movie from the 70s.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's such a ripoff of Psycho too. But it's cool the fact that I can say I live across the street from my house where they filmed
That
a
is
horror
cool,
movie.
man.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the rest of your day like?
Yeah, same thing, man. Just like kind of chill and just hand out candy, watch some horror movies,
Yeah.
catch up on Halloween. Maybe I'll have to put on Trick or Treat.
Trick or treat, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a letdown right now. Like now that
I know.
the podcast is over, it's
Yeah,
coming to an end.
I
now
know.
It's like,
I know.
Halloween special. It's
I
over.
know.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, it's crazy, but I can't thank you enough for having me on this
dude,
day, man. I feel so
This is
special.
great. I mean, it's too bad Greg's not here.
I know.
We gotta get like
I know.
trying to build up like this Halloween tradition and do something fun. And
Well, let's. I'll have you and Greg on. Let's do an episode. I know you've been on before, but let's do another top 5 or something.
That'd
you
be
know?
cool.
Yeah, we could do something maybe about you guys are always talking about kind of weird paranormal stuff. Maybe we could do like a top 5 paranormal.
that'd be cool.
Horror movie kind of thing or something.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
There's tons of those.
Absolutely.
All these different things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play some music and get out of here.
Nice, man.
I was going to play, do you know why we celebrate Halloween?
Ooh, that's great. It's so good.
Do you know why we celebrate Halloween? A long, long time ago, it was a night of great power.
I love this
When
part.
the
It's so great.
days grew short, all across the land, huge bonfires were lit. Oh, there was a marvelous celebration, and they dressed up in costumes, hoping to ward off the evil spirits, especially the boogeyman.
Yes, dude. So good. So great.
It is. I love that part. Mrs. Blankenship.
Yes, yeah. I love it. She doesn't talk the whole movie
Yeah.
until then.
And then like, yeah, because even in like the producer's cut, you
Yeah.
see a little bit more of her.
Right,
the other
right.
one you really don't.
Yeah, I
So
know. It's so
sad.
funny.
But thanks everybody for tuning in to the podcast today. Head over to nightmare365.com for all the information on the show. In the show notes descriptions, I have the links to Leslie's website as well as Mike's Alone in the Dark podcast. So make sure you check out that. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy this 2018 Halloween. Go out there trick-or-treating. Don't get any razor blades and candy, stuff like that. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, stay spooky.
Happy Halloween.